anybody's been paying attention like I have here in the last couple of weeks about what's been going on with Maduro of Venezuela, he's been threatening Trump. He said he's got 15,000 troops on the border. He's ready to take on America. This is actually one of the biggest drug dealers in Central America. Because Venezuela, where the location of it is, a lot of the drugs through South America and Central America have to come through Venezuela. So therefore, Maduro is a pretty powerful man in his own right, being the kingpin to the drug dealers over there. And I don't know if he's running the show or not, or if he is just getting such kickbacks that he lets them do as they please. I don't know, but I do know that we have come in with ships over the last couple of weeks. In the last 7 days, we have put P-8 Poseidon submarine sniffing planes, destroyers, and several other boats from the naval fleet headed to the Gulf of America, excuse me, right down there around the tip of Venezuela, in order to corral all these boats that think they're going to sneak out with pounds and pounds of cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl, which that is the best way to fix the problem. Go straight to the source. Prevent them from being able to traffic them. Instead of having to play whack-a-mole across that vast ocean and hope you can find them on the way with your surveillance technology, just show up with 10 times the technology on the boats and just pull up close. That way anything that leaves their shores, we'll know right quick if it's a regular vessel or one of these homemade boats or one of these submarines that they're just trying to mule some drugs across to the United States. Well, due to satellite telemetry and things, this is the way we find out not just who's peddling the drugs, how they're peddling them, where they're manufacturing them, and who all's involved. We've got ultimate surveillance going on, I'm sure, over there with drones. We are probably waiting to strike a lot of the labs, which will probably be in lieu pretty soon. But right now, we are just trying to prove a point that if we didn't have them boats out there protecting our waters, our land, from these boats full of drugs coming onto our shores, that boat would have got through if it wasn't for the likes of the Coast Guard. And now we've got the military out there to actually helping fight the drug epidemic. Thank God for Trump. You know, I used to say FJB a lot. Now I just say praise Trump. He is great. He is doing so many things every day to try to make our country a better place, and I just have to give him hats off. I've never seen another human being care so much about the well-being of our future as a nation. Now, I'm going to show you this video. If you haven't seen it, it's great. Not to say seeing 11 people get blowed up is great, but considering they are narco-terrorists, Trinidad Aragua narco-terrorists, I think they get what they deserve, and I ain't mad about it. Now, let's get into it. First, we'll play the boat scene, how this boat didn't actually get too far along before it went kapow, which is awesome news. Love to see that kind of stuff. Then we're going to go through some of the things that Maduro said. Now, Maduro is originally, Venezuelan leader, was originally threatening Trump, being all boisterous, and just even earlier today was talking about how we're a sovereign nation, and you can't come over here and bully us, this, that, and the other. Well, now that they tried to sneak a boat out and it got blowed to smithereens, he's got a whole different story. I had to get Grok to translate it for me, but he's not talking that game anymore. He's talking a whole different game. Instead of butting heads with Trump, he's now saying that, well, we'll get into that. All right, folks, let's get into the explosive boat scene. This is good stuff right here, folks. Made me smile to see this. Bear with me, this thing's doing a little spooling, a little slow today. It says, watch as the U.S. military destroyed a Venezuelan drug boat in international waters with 11 Trinidad Aragua narco-terrorists aboard, and says the Trump administration. And Fox News has got this on. Marco Rubio's already put this out. Trump's put this out. They've discussed it today in the press conference. Now let me make sure we're all in scene here. All right, folks. Having issues here. Hold on. Trying to put this boat in scene. Here we go, folks. No volume to speak of, but you get the gist of it. Here we go. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. There's some sound effects for you. Lit them up like the 4th of July. And I'll watch that over and over again. I don't mind a bit. It's one of those cigar boats, probably 3 or 4 motors on that thing, really fast, and they just low to the water. Blew that sucker up. Gone. You know what that was, folks? That was Trump sending a message. Don't even try it. We're out here watching like guard dogs. We're not going to sit back and wait for y'all to sneak in 9 million places on our borders with your boats. We're just going to go ahead and show up on your border, sit outside in international waters, and make sure nothing gets by us that ain't on the up and up. That's actually the best answer. Why we steadily do surveillance over there to find out how we can just snuff out the whole problem in itself. We figure out where the fentanyl is coming in to South America, where the actual port it is, port where they're sliding the stuff in from China. That would be another great target as well. This is not about Maduro, and this is not even about Venezuela. This is about the American people and the drug epidemic that has to be handled up on. Otherwise, it'll never change. And Trump is just that guy. He's the one that wants to come in and change things with a wrecking ball or a bomb, or 3 bombs, depending on which country you're talking about. Now, I don't know why Maduro even thought he was going to be able to talk shit to Trump. Did he not just see what we did to Iran just weeks ago? No doubt in my mind what's going on here. But at any rate, after Maduro got his boat blowed up, he says now we say Maduro is begging President Trump not to take military action against Venezuela. He insists both nations can instead work together to actually end the drug epidemic. He said he's done a great job at taking care of the drug problem, with the exception of the boat that just got blew up. But at any rate, now all this is in Espanol, and I don't speak enough Espanol to translate. So what I did do is I asked Grok. Go ahead and ask Grok to translate. Analyze the post. That's all you got to do is hit it at the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and get over here and read it, folks. Hope y'all don't mind. I'm going to slide this over a little bit. Put you over here where the reading post is. Alright, it says the post by Right Angle News Network captures a moment from the speech by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, where he addressed the escalating tensions with the United States, particularly in response to the U.S. military deployment near Venezuela. Maduro comments, as shown in the video, suggested the shift from defiance to a plea for dialogue, indicating a strategic pivot amidst perceived threats from the U.S. naval forces. After we sunk that boat, he changed his tune quick. The shift in rhetoric occurs against the backdrop of recent actions, including doubling the reward for Maduro's capture on drug charges of $50 million and deploying warships to the Caribbean, which Maduro has labeled as the gravest threat in the century's gravest threat. His offer to collaborate on drug trafficking issues contrasts sharply with the earlier statement he had made, vowing to arm the population and mobilize the troops against Trump, reflecting a complex diplomatic dance. Now, he's not going to stop the drug dealers. He's making way too much money off of it. If he's not the kingpin, he's at least the bag man. So the context of this post is further enriched by the ongoing Venezuelan tensions marked by the disputed elections, economic sanctions, and accusations of drug trafficking. Maduro's mentions of past collaborations like with Colombia and his readiness to share Venezuela's fighting experience on the drug issue. So now he wants to help. How come you didn't stop that boat from getting off your shore? Good question. No, he wants to pull the old okey doke on Trump. He's like, don't worry about it, Trump. I got it. Just go away. Just go away. Please take your boats away. Let us do our business and just look the other way and we'll lie to you if you'll go for it. That ain't going down like that. But he's at least placating that he wants to go another direction with this. He's now trying to reason with Trump, considering he just seen the military force that we have. We have got eyes. We've got the eye of Sauron looking down on Venezuela in the name of destroyers and planes and drones and submarine sniffers. They're not getting out of there with much. They're fixing to be totally cut off from being able to transport drugs north. I guarantee you that's what this is all about. It's not about regime change, but that may happen in the end when the people decide that they don't want to live under the cartel communist rule over there. Maybe we will get regime change in the end. I wouldn't put it past our government to just blow him out of the water so they can figure out who they're going to pick next. You know, if he keeps it up, that $50 million bounty on his head, that's instant regime change as well. All he's got to do is have somebody turn him in. I guess they could be the new boss. So he knows that if America comes calling for all the drug-related deaths, Venezuela is on the hook for the U.S. For all the drug-related deaths in the U.S., Venezuela is on the hook. Maduro and his corrupt communist dictator is going to end by force. It's clearly he is clearly scared to FAFO, F around and find out. And I'm gonna give this a heart. I put on there, it's happening so fast. It is happening fast. I like to see it. Just pow, pow, pow. Real time. Maduro done changed his tune in minutes. After he seen we were not going away, we were not going to be bullied, and we were not going to listen to his shit. And he knows he's outmanned, outgunned, outpowered. Technology alone, we've got him in a situation where we could probably turn their power off, blow up all the drug labs, go around the bounty for ourselves, all in a day's work. Venezuela's not that big, folks, but hopefully we don't have to go that route. Hopefully we'll figure out a way to stop all the drugs coming into that country and leaving that country. That's the solution for that one, folks. Now, this is a whole different scandal altogether, but I just want to bring this one to you today. I read a little bit about it yesterday, and I didn't get a full grasp of it, so I didn't bring it to y'all as a video. I heard the $5 billion, I went to reading on it, and it just kind of got convoluted. I guess whoever had the story out didn't make it as clear as Mr. Eric Daugherty, who is another great news commentator out here. Let me move this over. Got my screen off. There we go. No, not me. This one, that's, yeah. There we go. Alright, folks, this is a wild story. It says, holy crap, a scandal is erupting in Michigan after state Republican lawmakers found that 4,277 phantom jobs were created and funded by Democrat leaders. This is money laundering, folks. This is stealing money. You guys realize with a scandal this size, $5 billion in fraud or abuse was found. People should be prosecuted for taking money that was appropriated to a higher employee, using that money for another purpose entirely. There are programs that are out there that don't even exist, and they're funding them. And this happens in every state. That's what this whole DEI boondoggle bullshit was. If you create 100 new DEI jobs in, say, this particular city, and you got somebody paying the bill for them, who's to say you actually have to hire 100 people? Maybe you could hire 10 people and keep the other 90 paychecks for yourself. See, that's what's going on here. When the government creates jobs that are unnecessary, so unnecessary that you don't actually have employees, that's theft, folks. That's inflating the budget through means of theft, no doubt about it. Now, this is a crazy, crazy story. Now, people should be prosecuted for this. This is one of another 100 stories where we're just waiting on some justice. But I believe we'll get there on this one. This is going to be a big one. This just blew up yesterday, and this is going to be big, like you said, in Act Blue. It's going to be a scandal that is going to have to be dealt with.
One of the biggest frauds we've uncovered in Michigan.
We've identified $5 billion of waste, fraud, and abuse in the state budget.
A lot of people are very, very concerned. Oh my gosh, to have a budget that's under $80 billion, you must have had to gut a lot. Nope, we didn't have to gut. We just had to cut 4,277 phantom jobs.
You guys realize what a scandal this is? People should be prosecuted for taking money that was appropriated to hire employees and using that money for another purpose entirely.
Gender reassignment surgeries for prisoners. There are programs in there that don't even exist, and they're funding them. Like the Star Base, I mean, that was eliminated a few years ago, and they still fund it. We get rid of the arts and culture grants. They're real waste. I mean, you look at what they are. Glass blowing, barbershop quartets, all kinds of things, really. It's incredible the things they got away with calling it arts and culture grants. See, that's why Winnie Brinks doesn't want to get in the room with me, because I know the budget in and out. I don't know it as well as Ann. So they know if Ann and I get in the room with Sarah Anthony and Winnie Brinks, we're going to get a great deal because we know the budget better than them.
Damn. That needs to be investigated, folks. I mean, we know the Biden administration was throwing gold bars off like it was the Titanic. They done spent so much money in their trillions of dollar infrastructure packages, they had to find some place to put the money. So they created employees, they created committees, they created fake jobs, fake foundations and necessities for. They had the money, so they had to find a cause as a place to filter the money. Claiming to have more employees than you actually have, that's theft, folks. On the highest of levels, especially since it's coming out of the taxpayers' dollars pocket. If there's that many 4,000 something people just in Michigan alone that they found, that may not be all of them, but that they found through a little bit of investigative homework. My question is Laura Loomer or one of these great investigative journalists going to get out here and dig this stuff up and find out if they're doing this in every state? Because almost every time you find out the Democrats have a scheme that gets exposed, it's usually not a one-time scheme. It is a blueprint for one of the many schemes that they placate in every state they can get away with it in. Kind of like stealing elections. And speaking about stealing elections, Trump is in process of moving from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama, otherwise known as Space City as of today. Going to be moving the Space Command, which is otherwise known as Space Force, there, and that will probably be geographically located for the beginning of the Iron Dome defense system program that they are going to ramp up starting pretty close to that location. So Trump was discussing that today, had a very long roundtable type press conference today and discussed a lot of things that is just going to be great for America, including the expansion of cutting states out of business for not doing the right thing. Says Trump just revealed why he didn't allow the Space Force headquarters to stay in Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, Trump says, is they do mail-in voting, so he's punishing them. They automatically have crooked elections. That's exactly right. He's exactly right. We shouldn't reward crooked folks in office. And that's what Trump needs to do. He needs to punish these states when he can't get them to get on board, whether it's sanctuary cities or handling their elections properly. He's got ways that he can move businesses in, move businesses out, tax them harder, cut off federal funding, circumvent what they're doing and bring his own men in and do it his own way, like with the troops. Here we go, folks. Check this out.
In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away number one in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to.
Y'all hear that? That was a shot across the bow to every state that wants to rig their elections. Keep it up or change your ways, because if you don't, you're fixing the FAFO just like Colorado did. Colorado is kicking themselves in the teeth. They are probably big mad that they just lost 20, 30, 40,000 jobs. And more than that, the state's taxation money that comes in from the industry. It's a lose, lose, lose for a big company or a big contract or a big program like a space program. Just decided to move down the street, especially when it's in another state. Now, minutes ago, Marco Rubio tweeted this out. Just playing it again, Sam. There we go. This is a little better view, I think. Lit it up. I love it. I love it. I ain't mad at you. Trump said, just in the last few minutes, we blew up a boat.
Over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country.
There's a lot more where that came from. You hear that crap? There's another shot across the bow. Just let this serve as notice. Beware. Trump posted an epic video of the boat getting blowed up. And then Trump truthed about it as well. Trump says, he calls them truths. I call them truth bombs. Earlier this morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a kinetic strike against positively identified Trinidad Aragua narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility. TDA is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolas Maduro, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and the acts of violence and terror across the United States and the Western Hemisphere. The strikes occurred while the terrorists were at sea and in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. See, there it is, right there. The strike results in 11 terrorists dead. No U.S. forces were harmed. Maybe a bullet or two was shot. I think it was actually just one missile. That was the extent of the casualties. We lost a bullet. To anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into our country, the United States, beware. And thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump ain't playing. He's in that FAFO mood. They have been kicking ass when it comes to these cartels and the big drug seizures. I've been seeing the Coast Guard and the military working hand in hand with the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. They've been doing it. They've been getting it done. They've been racking up the drug bust. FBI even involved in some of these as well. We're talking about massive amounts of drugs that are no longer going to be here, and those people that are getting caught, they're not getting to go back home. Their ass going to Guantanamo Bay or someplace just as nice. Here directly. These guys here, these 11, they went straight to heaven. Or the other place. I don't know. Ain't for me to say. But, yeah, they had their day in court by means of probably some kind of rocket. That would be my guess. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the fact that we got a little bit of breaking news, and it's all good news. It's well, with the exception of the money that got stolen. But that's being exposed, so that is good news as well. You got to flip over the rocks to find out what's underneath them to keep from